Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one we are coming live from twitch.tv/Virkayu with chat on the side hidden because they're distracting to show you a dominating Conqueror Kindred game. And the reason for this game is, how do we make our own luck to carry games when our laners are a bunch of lizards? The Varus will do like 8,000 damage. They all have low KP. The Maokai does more damage than our ADC, which isn't too surprising, but hey, this is about Kindred making the luck on our lanes with exquisite pathing, suppressing Graves and making you regret picking Graves, which is great, because we all hate Graves, except for the one guy in chat who loves Graves. And these early wards will always get you in a bit of a precarious environment. Let's see. Let's have a look. See, Vladimir, this is not where you want to be. Nah, nice flash. Nice flash. Obviously, we started Q here, which, as most Kindred mains will know, this compromises our first clear subtly and slightly, and actually not so slightly, because it's quite big, actually. We want to start W normally, but First Blood is huge. Now, the reason why, in the gold graphs, I look at the KDAs, the gold graphs, I'm like, okay, how do we make this game work, right, in terms of a gameplay review? And then I see the First Blood, and I'm like, well, is that GG or is it not GG? And I can tell you, and most of you know this, it's not always GG. Your team always will find a way to throw. And obviously, with a compromised early start, you're slower. So what can we do about this? Now, we know that the Graves, all right, showed up over here, okay? We know that he's getting leashed and pulled on that side. We have the Cassiopeia showing up against Maokai, just going W in, because why not? We're going to do our blue, we're going to do our Grump, and then we're going to have the option of going down to the Wolves and then into the red. Now, what will Graves do to kind of counter this First Blood fiasco? He can either full clear 5 camp, he can do a red Raptors Grump, he could always look to potentially go for a 3 camp, look to invade the Kindred, but as Kindred mains know, we like facing Graves. Graves is one of those champions that we don't mind beating and defeating. But the pathing that the Kindred is going to show you, and I just did a quick skim, is really important for how you can solo carry games regardless of whether your lanes win or lose. Like, your lanes could be winning, your lanes could be losing, it just doesn't matter. Now, the crucial thing about this is, while we've been clearing, and obviously in a gameplay review, I don't click around the F keys as I would if I was playing, because that would be pretty tragic. You guys need to watch the clears, but the Cassiopeia burnt her flash. The Cassiopeia is super low HP. The Cassiopeia is thinking, I need to run away. The Kindred is showing up, and, she doesn't, because she doesn't have boots or legs, and, why didn't she just, there we go. This clear, for me, is especially good. When you are thinking of doing a 3 camp, 4 camp downward, and you see top lane looking absolutely primed, juicy, and, raw, just the way Golem likes it, you can just go blue, Grump, Wolves, and just flex back up. And yes, that opens you to the possibility that a Graves does a red Raptors Grump into an invade here, which is exactly what he's done. But because of the good ward early, and why most of you should ward early, we see this. We get the RNG blessed on the bottom side. Bot lane has prior, but we're going to smite this, snack this, take this. Now we are Kindred, we have Q mobility. Let me click that. Graves is like, where do I go? And the answer to that is to the afterlife, I hope. Come on, no, he's Graves. Of course he's Graves. But the Lantern is now, wait. Okay, so the Thresh is flat. Okay, that was good. He landed the Graves back into the fight. We're really tight. Your Graves goes back in here. We're following the Kindred who's in the front line. Keep your eyes on the Kindred there. And the mark is on the Graves as well. With a flash from the Varus and it doesn't hit anything. We're able to kill the Thresh. We're able to kill the Graves. And the Vladimir still has no flash from the level 1, so that's another kill. So these fights for me are something that's happening a lot on my own personal, I don't know, do we say journey? I'm just spamming my junglers at the moment. And I found a bit of success with a niche doctor. And, I do really force these early rotations in fights. Obviously, I'm not an idiot, like if my team doesn't rotate and I don't have prior, I run away. But in the case of the Kindred here, if your team's there and everyone's ready to fist, and you can turn this to a huge gold advantage, do so. But the key thing is here we keep this pressure up and we maintain the control of the map because it is a Graves. And as we all know with Graves, what does he do well? Well, he's annoying. He farms well. He counter jungles well. You make one bad decision and go the wrong direction, Graves takes your camps. You go to the bottom side and try to force a gank when you shouldn't. He takes your top side camps, dives your top laner, gets the Herald, uses it on the mid lane. Gold lead, extinguished. So here with the Kindred, it's going to be about 100% KP, making sure that we can carry this game because our team will not help us in terms of KP or damage. And that's the essence of a solo carry game, isn't it? That's what you need to know. And that's why Kindred is so good. So let's take stock here. We have the RNG Scuttle blessed on the top side again, obviously, because we took this one. We're going to snack that up. We have ganked top lane after 3 camp blue side. We have taken first blood from aggressive wardage. We ganked mid lane on our way to the bottom scuttle. We forced a fight in the bottom lane. We went back to base. We took the RNG scuttle top side. We then ganked mid lane again. Now we see Cassiopeia disrespecting and out of position. We timed her flash. You die as well. You see the pressure that you need to exert as Kindred to smurf on these fools. It's like this. The camps, what have we done? We've done this camp. We've done this camp. That's it, right? We've done 2 camps. But it doesn't really matter because we have control over this, we have control over this, this, and this, and now all the lanes are in a position where even if our laners don't use the lead, we're fed. And when Scenario spoke to me about the Master Yi video on the main channel, and again, I apologize for those of you for selling out and making a Yi video, but you know what? Sometimes a guy just does something impressive with a champion that no one else has done. That's a cheeky wall hop there. You see that little over the flames, Kobe Bryant-esque, you know, over the Aston Martin. And now we're going to go into the Raptors and do a full clear down, unless, of course, we see something that we can maybe use to cut in, because the Krug's a bit more detached here, but we want to use this lead, right? That's a crucial thing. 33 CS, 7 out of 7 KP, 502, excuse me. And this is the nice one. When you know that the bottom lane has reset, and obviously keep track of these things, when you're watching these VOD reviews, make sure you look at the minimap as well, pay attention to lanes, that's where they go, how they go. You'll see that if they base or back off drastically, you can usually sneak away a free dragon pretty quickly, even if the Graves are sequencing in that same direction. The key thing is here, tempo control to sneak it away. That's crucial. And obviously we have the mid lane prior to help out, which again is something we created. Graves says, aha, I know you're there, and decides to cheese on the bush. But Kindred says, but I have a cloak plus a Noon Quiver, so what are you going to do about that? The first lanterns the Graves in, who ends up killing the Tarek. The Jinx gets a little bit excited here. We're going to kite down, kite down, kite down, with the Nika moving down as well, pinging, pinging, pinging. But this is where the 1v9 comes in, because again, our support just died. Look at this, look at this, look at this. You see this? This is what I was talking about in the Vision video. No one watched it for some reason. It's a good video. Teaches you how to walk around wards. A little loop, all right? Back into the bush here. They don't know that we're here. And this kind of bait is something that I love. And I don't like fishing, but this is definitely good bait. Now we have the Nico moving down, getting collapsed upon. The Jinx thinks, Kindred went to Krugs, because that's what all Kindreds would do. And the Kindred says, you know what, why don't I just mark the Jinx prior, get level 6 from the mini wave absorption. Varus says hello, and then we kill the Thresh first, because Lantern Gaming just execute him there. We do have our ultimate to use as well. And now we're going to get healed up. We're going to get it down as low as possible and then kite into the bush and get a double kill. That kind of stuff right here, that's what makes you great. If you can do this with Kindred, this is like, I don't know, the perfect 7-minute, 8-minute start you could possibly have. 9 out of 9 KP. Reasonable control of our jungle quadrants. Graves has no idea what to do. And we've used our Q mobility to get around and circumvent all kinds of vision. Like Cassiopeia, you know, if you're busy here and basing right now and you press tab and you see Cassio as a control ward, she goes down and up, then you know she's control warded. I'm just pointing that out as like a FYI, because here that's not the case, but that is something I would want you to track. So if you plan on going top lane again here, that control ward is something in your mind, then you can avoid it. But here now, let's go and take that Grump because it's juicy. We have a mark in the red buff. I know I can kill the Graves 1v1. I know Cassio's pushing that top lane in, and I don't really care about Vladimir. So, hello, Graves! Can I interest you in some death? And that's a pun because Kindred is death. We're going to flash over the wall to get that nice E-proc. We're going to snack away this red buff. And now we're going to queue into the bush to make sure that we can get to the plant. But hello, Cassio shows up. The Miasma, grounded, misses the ult. Stay out of the Miasma. Use your range increase because we're at over 4 stacks, actually. We're at 7 marks, so that range increase allows us to hit over the Miasma. Yeah. And if you were 3 marks, excuse me, so you wouldn't be able to do that. So now the Maokai is rotated as well. The Vladimir's like, I'm going to flash ult you, and you're like, didn't care, didn't ask. We do have the Conquer for full stacking. Talk about that in a little bit of a second, but we hath fallen. Death is no more. Unlucky. Try not to give shutdowns to Vladimir. Try and be a little bit cautious about this kind of stuff. But this is good. You know, we know she's going to rotate, but that confidence to say, hey, I can 1v1 any one of you on this map right now, that's the biggest thing. If you have this kind of lead and you don't walk in and steal this guy's red in his face and kill him, what good is your lead? Because it's great ganking every single lane, right? It's great getting and sneaking away objectives. But if you can't remove the enemy jungler from the game as well, then your lead doesn't mean anything. That's like the most critical aspect of being fed as a jungler and of being fed as Kindred. Now, we're not even going for this red, right? Look at this. What I want you to note as well is look at how the Kindred's jungling. The Kindred isn't playing Kindred. The Kindred is playing Kindred in the jungle. 85 years of slows from the oh right, of course. from the Kindred here. We're gonna jump it into the Jinx there. Can we go deep? Oh, we know the Graves is gonna show up because there's nothing topside. He's gonna be here. There he is. Can we get a kill on the Thresh maybe as well? Nope. Unlucky. Close though. Very close though. So here, track your mid laner. Don't get distracted by subtle things like I did. But from here, the concept is, no, I don't need my red right now. This bottom lane is 100% gankable. And then I can invade and take this and kill the Graves again and make him absolutely miserable. These are the things that you should dream of as a Kindred. Now, obviously, in this particular situation, you know, we dove a little bit and we got a little bit trigger happy, which will happen, but is what it is. Ideally, though, a shutdown to the Vladimir and a shutdown to a Graves or kill to a Graves, not recommended, but I don't think anyone in Eureka is really going to use that, right? In Diamond, they'll start to, but they won't really know what to do. In Platinum, they wouldn't really worry about it at all. The kills you got back here, absolutely fine. We do want that Herald, though, so we're going to path to the top side here and do a little bit of Canyons Quadrant clearing. That video on the main channel as well, we talk about this a lot. He goes out of base. Instead of thinking about sequencing down and doing Gromp walls and cutting in for a loop path, he says, look, I plan on doing a quadrant, an easy quadrant to stay on top side, boof, boof, take this, and sneak it away from the Graves. This ward of no concern to us because we have the PvP advantage. And that's why I've been enjoying Mundo over things like my Ornn, because I can do all of these things in Ornn, but one, I can't solo the objectives nearly as easily, and two, I can't PvP everyone with so much mobility. With Mundo, you just press Ghost and run them down. Hello, Vladimir uses the Pool of Destiny, gets exhausted, ults with his exhaust, who cares? Nice run by the support there as well. Graves again, trailing everything. He's down 2 levels. Dude's down 2 levels. He's only down 4 CS, but he's down 2 levels. This is how it should be. Too many times I've been like 7-0-1, and the guy's the same CS as me because he held a wave or 2. Why are we the same level? Because you have 1 kill and I have 8, just because you absorb some CS. But look at this again. Look at this again. See? See how we move with our scanner and our control words to just get around people with Kindred. It's so strong and so potent. And now we know that the Graves is hovering on the mid lane there because Vladimir's dead. Hello, sir. And we're going to get flayed. We're going to get trapped. But again, we don't really care too much. Clear the vision away. Dragon is available, so let's go ahead and take that. And now the enemy team's going to start to feel un peu desperate, a little bit desperate. They're going to try and force things that they shouldn't force, even though they do have a scaling component here. And see that Grave goes in, we have the Taric ultimate, they're trying to contest this with the Graves and with the Vlad. The Taric does die, but his ult goes off, and again, they will die for this. Careful. Okay, good. Actually, I felt, Nico, I don't know, my brain sometimes. Just baby stuff. Use your Herald in the bottom lane here and yeet his Grump, exactly. If the Jinx steps up, kill her. If the Thresh shows up, step over the wall. Step again. Nice avoidance. E-proc. Very good. Lantern doesn't matter. Cut the wave. Hello, Thresh. Can I kill you too? Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Use the Grump as a buffer. Grump does prefer his junglers. I just want to show you this. You see there are 12 stacks of the Conqueror here. So that E, for example, is at 225. And this is at 296, right? So if we just wait for the Conqueror stacks to disappear, okay? Now this is at, oh, not quite yet. It should show up. 206, there you go, and 278. So the Conqueror stacks there, while the healing is minimal, and we can even look at it right now, 140. Now, is that crucial healing in crucial fights getting super low and even like 10 to 20 healing helps you turn that play? Yeah, of course, 100%, but it's not like some kind of demonic heal spawn that it used to be upon release, you know what I mean? The damage amp, though, for all your spells, that amplification of your AD, that's what we like. Now, you will note, I know you Kindred mains, you're looking at the atoms now and you're going, Kraken into Collector. That's understandable. But why aren't we going RFC third? You know, pick potential, snowball potential, the game ends. Because sometimes when you have this many marks at 8, all right, you have Kraken, you have Collector, you have such a completely dominating lead, the third IE gets you to that crit mark, but also your crit scales directly on your E, right? So the damage output while your attack speed is on the lower side, every single auto and spell will hit like a damn truck. It really will just isekai the enemy jungler. Just every single time. So it's a nice little snowball advantage. I don't personally like the way it feels. I would kind of like to sit on the BF sword and then go RFC, if that makes sense. That has been a classical thing that we used to do. Obviously PD second would be like your assassin crit Kindred, right? Like the typical expensive build, but the Collector is just so damn good for snowballing. The lethality spike. We used to have full lethality builds in Season 8. Season 7, Season 8. Full lethality Kindred builds. Really, really strong. Kind of miss those days sometimes. I mean, I know you can kind of do them now, but it doesn't really have the same effectiveness. Definitely more like collector style stuff, especially in Korea. But hey, excellent use once more, straight into the jungle, take his stuff, push into the mid lane. Look at this now, 15-2-4, 19 out of 20 KP. Our Maokai gets collapsed on by 4 people. You want to be at the point as a Kindred where you don't care about these things, but you also have to not get hooked. So, you know, don't do this. Yeah, that didn't work out for me. It didn't. That's a downside of not always looking through the games and keeping it fresh. But hey, at least we get truth and honesty in this video. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone overcommits. Everyone does that. But the problem is, in this game, if your laners are serviceable, right? Like, they're doing their jobs. I mean, it's a 1-1-2 Maokai, but they're existing, right? They're doing their best, and they're carryable, right? In the uncarryable games, your team are literally just a bunch of lemons. The thing is, you need to not make those mistakes, because that one mistake, the two mistake, could take this game from an absolute win to an absolute lose. You know, those 20% of the games where it's all on you, those kind of mistakes can be absolutely critical. So just bear that in mind when you decide to go ham for montage plays in the bottom lane against 4 people. You know, keep it in mind. I know it's difficult to do that in the moment, but either way, I love this. Look at this. Push the wave up, get into the jungle, scan the wards away. Hello, Cassiopeia, we get grounded and altered. Again, but we're at 8 marks. Keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. The CS is not... The CS is good. It's good, but it's not like Carthus or Fiddlesticks levels of good that it could be, but it's okay. Or is... Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when I said that. If they're lemons, I was thinking about the Mundo quotation. If life gives you lemon, eat caviar. Lemons go great with caviar. That's in my brain. That skin's amazing. Anyway, so... Good vision control deep in their jungle, don't care about any of this stuff, right? You're just looking for traps here. Taric ult comes through, we reposition with IQ to create some space. We're trying to kill the Thresh. Kill the stuff in front of you, please. Kill the stuff in front of you. You are, at the end of the day, an ADC. Do we fall here as well? Okay, very, very nice. Good job, Nico. Bide your time so that the Cassiopeia spells and focus is on someone else. Make sure you get a little bit of that Conqueror healing through, and in that particular situation is crucial. We get Triumph proc twice to give us some more healing as well. So here we go. Where were we at? 140 was never mind. Like, the healing is just so negligible, man. I'm trying to always justify it because I don't want people to kind of spew memes about things in a very generalistic sense. Like, this doesn't do anything, but it doesn't do anything. I like to think that 140 healing helped us at some point, but overall it's a damage. I wish it would give us possible... I don't know how they would do this, though, because it'd have to be every auto, every spell, and then have to basically do the calculations in real time when you have 2 stacks, 4 stacks, 6 stacks, 12 stacks, right? They'd have to do it whole time. So what is the full damage amp that you get from Conqueror in a game? I would like to see that right now in the replay. But Treasure Hunter, you know, on that note, is super good because at 550 gets you to the Serrated Dirk, it gets you to the Kraken Slayer. Our team does the Dragon instead of falling to that. I don't trust my teams in anything below Mercer to kind of do that, so I would typically kind of float and just make sure I get it and fall back to red side. But hey, you've given them such a big lead. This is the thing. You're by yourself, as the jungler here, as Kindred, have killed their laners so many times. You have 17 kills. You've removed Graves from the game so many times. Like, he can't do anything, that your team, by extension, can just kill them. Because they have dragon stats. They have inherent gold stats from the plates and the tower pushes. You have helped them push into their jungle to place a vision, right? So you're creating your own luck and your own strength within the laners. And in low elo, it's something I want you to really think about. Right, because what do they do in low elo? They love to stat check. Everything's a stat check in low elo. They're just gonna run at each other and fist. Like, it doesn't matter if they have a 2k gold deficit, a 10k gold lead. They're just gonna run at each other and kill each other. So if you can give your team the best chance of success, we just ate a Cassiopeia, didn't we? You know, it's so good that that champion is not particularly meta at the moment because Miasma's the most broken ability in the game, probably. Not quite. Not anymore, but at one point in time, you could say that and have a legitimate debate about it. In fact, you know, if someone was like, let me make that statement and defend it, I would have the debate. You know, I would plead for it and against it. Rengar enhanced W2. That one's pretty broken as well. Not broken in a bad way, just like it's such a strong ability that's fun to use and interesting to use. That's all. Not like that it needs to be removed or anything. So, I'm opening a can of worms with that one. Not a jack in the box, because I did my shotgun video. We're good for 2 months, right? Right? Don't need to do another one. I don't need to look at that again. But yeah, we've definitely had a few catches here where the chain CC and the silences and the groundedness has definitely caught us out. So do be aware of queuing into things, especially high CC comps. You want to queue laterally, a little bit behind, create that space, use your auto attack range, which keeps increasing. Look to duo this. All right, so I will be Mundo or Ornn even, and I will, or even Zyra, let's be honest with you. And I'll camp bottom lane and get my Draven super Giga fed and my Felios. And at 20 minutes, I'm on this with them as a duo. You can duo this so damn easily. I think they need to buff Baron. I don't think this should be something that's possible, to be honest with you. I feel like it should take a bit more to slice down a Baron at 20 minutes 30. I know we're all super Giga fed, but you understand what I mean, right? I think there should be a bit more of a fight to get that. We're going to ult this time to stop the Cassiopeia and the Vlad going through, and then we have the Taric ultimate, and that's the dream. That's why you want Taric on your team when we die anyway, because good gracious, they do scale and do a lot of damage, but it doesn't matter because our team can clean it up. Varus is like, I am helping, guys. Yes, I exist. And then Vlad dies eventually, Jinx dies, they all die. So we took all the focus, we used our ult, we got Taric ulted, but fortunately our team can just end the game. So you're seeing good examples here of, you know, snowball my lane, snowball myself, destroy enemy jungle to remove them critically. That's critical. Control all objectives, and by extension, your team, most of the time, should know how to just fight and fist all the way and help you out, especially when you're drawing all the focus, which is great. So, an exquisite 1v9 Kindred game, excellent early pathing adaptation, huge impact on the lanes, excellent second buff invade, 100% KP early, and still now 82% odd KP with the most damage by far. So, really nice, well-rounded snowball Kindred game. And for those of you who are like, yes, but what if we're behind by 100 million thousand gold? I'll say, well, I uploaded a Kindred video not so long ago that dealt with an inting lane. And I have a lot more other inting lanes on my gameplay channel, which is the channel that this is on that you're now watching. You can just search losing lanes and you'll see them. But at the end of the day, if you're always losing lanes as Kindred, it's on you. Sorry, it's on you. You have to snowball games and win like this with Kindred. If you're always going to 40 minutes, your early game isn't so good, so you need to fix that. And on that note, coaching is in Patreon, description below. Live Zarda GG Companion Guide for Kindred also exists for your enjoyment that can help you with macro calls. Thank you very much for watching. That was all in one take. How beautiful. And as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial, which will be tomorrow. I was going to leave it blank, but then someone would be like, when will it be? You know,